All right, I've already almost stepped on a snake. I've had to stare down with two horses, so should make for an interesting video. It's been a little while and no shortage of shit to talk about. There's always something going on. And now we have 2020 2.0 possibly on the horizon, depending on how the world reacts. I remember when they did Ebola and Zika that it didn't really take hold, but they did push it out there. I'm hoping, for the love of God, that it is the same with the hantavirus. And they don't try to pull the same bullshit that they pulled back in 2020, which lasted years of fighting with people everywhere you went about masks and distancing and all the horse shit. So, speaking of, I'm almost sipping on some horse shit right here. So I need to wash my feet. But the thought of going through that again right now is unbearable. That was such a miserable time. But it showed exactly where humanity was, and it revealed the character of everybody in your circle. I mean, being called names, being ostracized, it revealed everyone. Wishing people to go to jail, lose their businesses, all that shit. It revealed everyone, and it showed you just how much the media is nothing short of a group of paid whores. That's all they are. They're paid liars. Mockingbird Media. Everything they say is the opposite of reality. The whole point is to dictate and to steer the masses wherever it is the social controllers want them to go. That's the whole purpose of the media. If you are in 2026 still under the assumption or the belief that the media is on your side or doing the best they can or try to give you the truth, you are a child. You have the mind of a child. And you're willingly ignorant because the truth is out there. Whether you go down the Edward Bernays route or the CIA route to figure out what Mockingbird Media is all about, whether you go through who owns the media, whether you go through the Ellisons, whether you go through the fact that every BlackRock and State Street and Vanguard own just about everything, you're getting the same message from the small town news to the big players of ABC, CBS, CNN, Fox, you name it, MSNBC. They're not two wings of a different bird. It's the right wing and left wing of the same bird. It's unbelievable that people still don't understand that in 2026. There's no such thing as left and right. And if you believe there's such thing as a left and right, especially in the United States, you're a traitor, because we have the Bill of Rights and nothing else. That is ratified. The Constitution, who gives a shit? The 13th Amendment names you a slave, it names you a subject. The Bill of Rights was ratified. That is the only law that we should be following. And if any politician or police officer or mayor or governor or senator or congressman or president goes against any of the Bill of Rights, they are traitors. Bill of Rights is pure freedom. Pure freedom. But anyway, we're dealing with a possible 2.0, and April 1st was the day of the voyage, April Fool's Day, mockery. The same crisis actors from 2020 to 2026, the little feminine man in the green shirt, he was seen giving little videos about the coronavirus when that was coming out to tell everybody to take their injections, and now he's sitting on a boat saying that he's scared for his life. It's a joke, and it's all mockery. And for the love of God, I hope people do not fall for it, but like I said, 2020 really revealed humanity. Then you have all these data center issues. You have all of these data center issues taking place. And this is going to literally be used to control you, to control your life, to dictate every aspect of humanity's existence in this realm. Food consumption, water consumption, electricity consumption, speech online, speech in public, because there will be flock cameras with both visual and audio recordings at all times. It will be an absolute dystopia if we do not find a way to get people to understand what these data centers are for. You think they're there to store your pictures in the cloud? Are you absolutely blind to the world if you believe that? These people are not your friends. They have come out and told you that they're pedophiles. They've come out and told you, and they joke about being cannibals, or they joke about being child traffickers. They give you all the code language with the celebrities and pizza and cannibals and all the shit over the years that they've showed you in plain sight who they are. And now you're believing that these same celebrities and politicians are your friends. They don't follow rules or laws, but they give you and I rules and laws to follow. And if we don't, we go to jail. They don't pay taxes. They don't pay for cars. They don't pay for plane tickets. They don't pay for food. They don't pay for shit. While the rest of us have to struggle to survive in this new world where gas is approaching $6 a gallon where I am. $6 a gallon. It was 30 cents in the 1970s. 30 cents. Albeit it should be zero, because we should be using technology that's available, separating water and hydrogen to make engine combustion that way, using etheric energy, solar energy, but especially the water engine, that was proven. But we're still using oil, which we shouldn't be because it's the earth's blood. But even with that, it was 30 cents in the 1970s. It's now approaching $6 a gallon here now. And it's only going to go higher. Plane tickets are going to go higher. Everything's going to go up and up and up. At the same time, you have oil refineries catching fire magically. Everything is orchestrated. Infrastructure failing, knocking down bridges. Remember the one a couple years back, or even a year ago? I can't remember it all. All the stuff is just so on top of each other. The one near Baltimore, very, very heavy traffic for shipping goods, receiving goods. You have diesel. The prices are going to make these independent contractors not be able to survive. These independent contractors that drive long-haul trailers. How are they supposed to even survive when the gas eats up all their profits? But that, again, is the point. I don't really understand why they're doing this hantavirus bullshit right now, because they have so much going on. They don't need to. They don't need to. So I really don't understand why they're doing it. Just more chaos, really. I mean, they have the Iran bullshit going on right now, so that's causing the cost of living to go out of control. You have the planned destruction of Western civilization. That's going pretty much unfettered. Just going full steam ahead. You see what's going on in Italy and Spain. You see what's going on in England with all of the major political positions being taken by foreigners. By foreigners. It's incredible what's taking place. I'm hiding behind some brush right here, and it's doing a pretty good job of blocking all the wind. It's pretty damn windy here. I would like to be walking, but it's very windy. So we'll stand here and fry, but at least it's blocking the wind. We have to get people speaking about these data centers. They have to be stopped. You have the situation in Utah where Kevin O'Leary, or Kevin, whatever the hell his name is from the Shark Tank, who's not even American, who's trying to put in this huge data center, and none of the people want it. None of the people want it, but yet it's still going to go forward. This is a non-American putting something in a town in Utah where everybody is saying no, because we're seeing in West Virginia or Virginia and all these other places where these data centers are polluting the water supply and draining the water supply, polluting the air, rising energy costs for people because they have to offset what's going on at these data centers. It's incredible. You know, there's a phrase, Gerald Celente used to say it, and I'm sure he still does. When people lose everything and they have nothing left to lose, they lose it. I don't know what is holding back humanity right now. because we see the destruction of any type of comfortable way of life. We see the degeneracy. We see the absolute degeneracy taking place. We see relationships being destroyed. There are no more healthy relationships in the younger generations. If working with the youth for so many years, you see it. And you look at the birth rate in Korea, it's 0.8. 0.8, meaning Koreans, South Korea, who knows what the numbers are in North Korea, South Koreans will cease to exist in 100 to 150 years if things continue as they are. Their civilization will collapse. Japan, Germany, the US, all not far behind. The replacement rate for births is 2.1. US is under 2. Germany's under 2. A lot of countries are under replacement rates, but the fact that Korea is at 0.8 is so devastating. I lived in Korea for 3 years. And, hearing these people talk, you could, feminism, neo-feminism, absolutely took hold of the women there. And then you have the video games, the fucking PC bongs, and you have the absolute devastation of individuality and spirit, because these children, the school children, they're up at, early crack of dawn in the morning, and they don't get home, some of them, till 10, 11 o'clock at night, because they go to school, they go to Hagwon for other lessons, and their spirit is snuffed out, and all they want to do is play video games to escape. The birth rate is 0.8. It's horrific. To see what's being done to humanity with the infertility, the lack of sex drive, the lack of desire to have relations with the opposite sex in all kinds of different countries. And you can see it all in the West. You can see the planned videos and the bots, because the bots are geared toward getting men and women to hate each other, because the comment sections, which are usually filled with, the majority of them are bots, are speaking language and using vocabulary that is sitting with the people watching these videos to the point that it's programming their minds to hate the opposite sex. How is this possible? How is this possible? I heard an early 30s man talking the other day on a panel, and he was saying every single one of his friends, himself included, are single and do not have kids. Do you know what it takes? And he said this, and he's absolutely right. The amount of programming it takes to get a people with their natural desires and instincts to produce offspring. Do you know what it takes to get them to say, I don't want to procreate anymore. I don't want to produce. I don't want to have offspring. I don't want to have children. I want to live a materialistic, empty, vapid, nihilistic life, and I want to just die and be done with it. I don't want the responsibility or the joy of having deep relationships or watching my people, whether I'm white, black, Hispanic, Asian, whatever, watching my people grow in consciousness. No, I want to watch the world fucking burn, but I want to party while doing it. I want to watch rigged sporting events, drink big gulp sodas, and just watch the world burn. And it's incredible. The cost of living has become just untenable. It's out of control. And that's another aspect that falls into the lack of relationships, because when you have men and women that can't even afford to keep themselves above water, and then they want to go on dates and they want to try to impress or woo or court the opposite sex, you can't. You can't afford to take women out to dinner. You can't afford to take men. You can't afford to go on little trips with men, because your money's safeguarded for rent that month or groceries that month. And so to think you're going to go on this 4-day long weekend trip up into the hills somewhere or down to the ocean somewhere, you can't do it anymore. It's just not a thing. I don't know how these hotels are still in existence, are still operating. I just was looking at hotels in the West Coast for 2 nights for just a run-of-the-mill bed and breakfast, $900. from a basic room for like $650 to a normal room, $650 to $900 for 2 nights. Get fucked. At that cost, I hope your business absolutely goes under, because it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. This world, everything's being orchestrated, and that's why, like things like Agenda 21 and Agenda 2030, Rosa Koire, Behind the Green Mask, that book should be read, or her speeches should be listened to, because everything is implemented locally to achieve what they want to achieve realm-wide. So your local councilmen and your local politicians, your governors, your mayors, they are instituting things locally, which may not seem like a big deal. Sometimes they do. But it all ties in to the greater picture, which is things like the Wildlands projects and 15-minute cities. And they want to turn everything into a commodity. They want to own the water. They want to own nature. They want to have everything tracked and traced. And you will not ever experience it unless you're wearing a fucking VR headset. Things like this, but more importantly, things like national parks, state parks. This is just a little lake nearby. But the bigger ones, the state parks, the national parks, you will never see them again. Because in the future, you will be sitting in your 15-minute city, unable to leave, except a few times a year, and you will only see nature on a VR headset. And they've already talked about this openly. That is their goal. And if you look at the Georgia Guidestones when they were here, what's the last thing it says on the bottom? I've been there. I went twice before they blew them up. And I thank God, because I wanted to see it for myself, these sick fucks. But what does it say on the bottom? Be not a cancer on this earth. Leave room for nature. Leave room for nature. Which is interesting too, because the people that are doing all of this hate nature. They have no connection to it. They destroy it on a regular basis. These Satanists, these Zionists, these non-human pieces of shit that we allow to do whatever the fuck they want, and it drives me crazy. It drives me insane that all of this just marches on. People still thinking that Trump is their buddy, is their savior. It makes me sick to my stomach to hear grown-ups, to hear adults above 30 years old talking about this other adult or that other adult, this man or that woman that they hope gets power so that they can fix things. It's disgusting thinking. Things will never change until it changes at the individual level. There are no saviors. You cannot delegate your personal responsibility to act as a moral man or as a moral woman to someone else, especially in our world where those that do seek power are already starting from a psychologically ill foundation. Because anyone that wakes up in the morning and says, I think I should be in charge, I want to tell other people how to live, they're already starting from a psychologically ill foundation. Because it's a sick mindset to think that you should be controlling the lives of others. That what you believe, that your beliefs should become law. You don't like this plant, or you don't like this drink, or you don't like this activity, make it illegal. Even though there's no victim. No victim, no crime. But look how all of our laws are victimless crimes. I don't know. I don't know. Humanity is grotesque. It really is. To allow what we know that's absolutely taking place without any shadow of a doubt, to allow it and to think nothing of it, to just turn the other cheek because we don't want to lose our little bit of comfort. We just accept our chains of gold, whether it's a chain around our neck or our waist or our wrists or our ankles. We just accept it because, hey, it's gold. Can't be that bad. Our masters give us gold chains. Our jail cell is made out of gold. It's all shiny. And we even partake in our own slavery. You know, you have people that wearing the Apple Watch that's tracking their vitals. monitoring their sleep habits with their cell phone while their brain is being radiated from the fucking Wi-Fi and the radiation. It's incredible what people do. And they think they're leveling up when they get a Tesla or some other EV that's radiating them the entire time and tracking and tracing them the entire time. God. Humanity. Where the fuck is it? What happened? What happened? We know what happened. The generation before us and before us and before us and before them, on down the line, cared more about comfort than freedom. Cared more about comfort and escapism than learning the truth of this world. Very few people actually care. Very few spirits in this realm at this moment right now understand the ideas of man-made religion, understand the ideas of government and the state, and how immoral it is on its face, and how all it does is produce tyranny. Very few spirits in this realm fully understand what it takes to be a free, sovereign, spiritual being, to be a moral man or a moral woman, and that is the fucking problem, is that you got a whole lot of nice people walking around this realm that turn their cheek as many times as they need to avoid facing who's punching them in the face, which is the state, which is your so-called leaders, while you watch your civilization burn to the ground. You're being a man of forgiveness, a woman of forgiveness. I don't want to judge anyone. Who am I to judge? What do you mean? If someone's acting immorally, if someone's acting like an asshole, you can judge them. Things like introspection and shadow work and silence are avoided at all costs. Noise and Wi-Fi buzz and neon lights chased after. The female youth is prostituting themselves on OnlyFans and Instagram, and we do nothing. Our male youth is weaker than it's ever been, popping steroids, escaping into video games. Man. And sadly, it all goes back to parenting. It all goes back to parenting, and nobody wants to hear that. If you raise your son or daughter to be strong, to be confident, to be moral, to question everything, they will grow up to be a strong man or a strong woman. But that doesn't happen, especially now. Especially now. That is so incredibly rare, if not non-existent. Because it takes time, it takes effort. You can't just let them sit on an iPad all day. You can't feed them high fructose corn syrup and shit food all day. You have to talk to them. You have to get them to observe reality. You have to let them be fucking bored. Because when you're bored, you learn. You get curious. You observe. I'm not saying, for adults, whenever I hear kids say, I'm bored, that saying is true. Only boring people get bored. How could you get bored in this world? It's utterly beautiful. Our realm is beautiful. Even with the fact that we've gone through so many resets and we're looking at a lot of ruins and we're not seeing the realm as it once was and humans are not as they once were, it's absolutely beautiful. And there's so many things to learn. There's so many things to do. Only boring people get bored. And that's a true statement. But anyway, I just wanted to come on and ramble for a little bit. It's been a while. I don't want this to get too long. But we'll see where it goes with this fucking bullshit with the hantavirus. I mean, there's so many amazing doctors out there that came forward during the COVID years that illuminated so many people. Brought forth so much truth about germ theory versus terrain theory. And they're out again, they're still talking. And I'm hoping in the deepest part of my soul that humanity does not fall for this shit again. We have too much going on with the data centers and the AI and the destruction of Western civilization that we cannot be dealing with this nonsense any longer. We have to take control. At some point, we're gonna have to take control and go head on with the people that are trying to enslave us, because humanity is running out of fucking time. As the saying goes, it is 11:59, 59, 59. We are running out of time. They have an agenda to reach. That 2030 is big for them. 2027 is actually big for them. So we just have to keep pushing forward, keep talking as much as we can, and not going along with any of it, in spirit and in action. Fuck these people. They are such degenerate scum, of which many of them have been proven that they're not even human in the sense of the word. Who knows what they are, whether they are the fallen, that's mentioned in the Bible, or whether they are the Watchers, or the Elohim, or the Nephilim, or whatever. There's a theory that they are the Neanderthal. They're not actually the Homo sapien, where the 23rd chromosome looks like it was altered in a way to make us. Because whatever the truth is, we know that evolution is horseshit. The theory of evolution, Darwin's own statements tell you it's horseshit, because there's no transitional species. There's no macro evolution. And then the idea of just being plopped down out of nowhere with creationism doesn't really sit well either. So there is a middle ground. There were beings, who knows what it is. But the point is, the people we are dealing with are not fucking human. They do not have spirits. They do not have hearts. They thrive in darkness. They thrive on chaos. They thrive on suffering. And so we have to accept that. Every politician, every last one, anyone that goes along with any of this system, they are your enemy. It's that simple. It's really not that hard to understand. It's just a matter of, do people care enough to live that way? Here in the US, we have the framework, we have the Bill of Rights. All we have to do is uphold it, and we have pure freedom. And every traitor gets wiped the fuck out. Every dual citizen gets kicked out. Everyone that's committed crimes, whether it's minor in stealing material goods, or the worst, murder or attempted murder, they have to be held accountable. If you do not hold evil accountable, evil will run amok and evil will take control, and that's what's happened. Because like I said, people turn the cheek over and over and over again to avoid who's punching them in the face. Well, the people that are punching the masses in the face have made themselves very fucking known. So at some point, there has to be the will and the care and the self-love to stand up. I just hope I'm here to see it. I hope it happens, sooner rather than later, because I do not want to see any more devolution of consciousness. I want to see the evolution of human beings, the evolution of spirituality and consciousness. I want to see the youth actually thrive and stop falling into becoming little NPC, Instagram, TikTok clones. It breaks my heart. And it's happening at younger and younger ages. But anyway, I'm going to jump off here. I've just been rambling. I know from the COVID years when I was making videos that people that have similar mindsets, it helps to hear this shit. It helps to know that there's people out there with similar intensity and similar care. But anyway, wherever you are, take care of yourself. Until next time, never behind.